What is the most important lesson you have learned this year? Beginning of the year was shit. I was also in the midst of going through like a breakup. What is the best thing that has happened? I think turning 30. There's this thing that I have always wanted to touch, like to talk about it. What are you thankful for this year? I have a list. I'm thankful for so many things. So these are like the 10 things I'd like to bring it forward. If it doesn't bother you after a year, let it go. Hey everybody, welcome back to this channel. This is actually the last video of the year. We'll be stepping into year 2022. So I've decided to do a little year-end review. I have some questions here to reflect on the past year and what's ahead of me while I am going to devour this box of bonbons. I got this box of chocolates from Kami Design. So Jillian, I think she's the founder of Kami, and she always sends me these really tasty bonbons. They're all handcrafted. Don't look at this part because I already just attacked it. So there are more here, which I'm gonna just finish them while I do this whole year-end review. I actually had the apple pie, which is so freaking yummy, and then there's also the yogurt and berries, which is so good. Everything here is just so tasty. I've always loved their chocolates, but the sad news is she told me that they will not be continuing this next year. So this is literally my last bonbon step, so I'm gonna make the most out of it. It has to be in camera, if not it didn't happen, right? Okay, I'm gonna try this one, the honey and rosemary. Just take a bite. Oh my god. So good. So, some questions on reflections on the past year. The first question is, what is the most important lesson you have learned this year? I guess there are a lot of lessons that I've learned this year along the way, but I've actually learned that the most important thing is to really take care of my health, take care of me as a person. You know, sometimes when you feel that, oh, I'm still young, I have a lot ahead of me, I have time, blah 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 blah, I'm strong, I'm this, I'm that. What you don't realize is sometimes it's important to check on yourself once in a while, because what happened was I had a surgery beginning of the year, which was kind of tough for me. I had a growth on my uterus, and I think what I could have done was to actually not ignore the signs and the symptoms, which I kind of did, and I just took it really lightly. I thought that it's just like usual cramps that I'm having for like, I think a good 3 to 4 months, and I was in really painful like stage. So every month I would suffer from these really severe cramps. I just kind of took it very lightly. Yeah, but all is good now. So I think what's most important is to really check in with yourself and your health, and always try to keep tabs, especially to the ladies. I remembered writing a long ass post on my Instagram to just remind you guys to get it checked every like half a year, and always remember to do your pap smears and also cervical jabs if you have not yet. This part is mainly for the ladies, just a reminder. Okay, second question. What is the best thing that has happened? I think turning 30. I think it's kind of weird because people always complain that, you know, they're getting older, but I feel that I'm in the best age now. Although sometimes I do complain to my friends like, oh, I'm turning 30, and I whine about it, but actually I don't really mean it. It's just, you know, just me being me. Turning 30 is one of the best things that happened. I think I'm in a really good space. Everything is doing pretty great in terms of my life, work, relationships. I guess 30 is like the right time. It's like you're financially stable enough to want to do the things you want to do. You also get like that time and freedom at the same time. I wouldn't say I've got everything together, but I think I'm in a good space. Number 3, what did you do for your career growth? I'm thinking because I have so many things going on, right? Like Handmade Heroes and also like social media and stuff. But what did I do? I think significantly helped me is definitely expanding the team, having people, extra hands to execute like some stuff that I won't be able to do in my own. So teamwork is very important. I can never do and live without the people that helped me on all of my works, and also being really consistent. I think time management is the key, despite like being busy, but being efficient is better than being busy. So I always am very mindful of time efficiency, and I really hate wasting time because I'm just that person. I think the team is like everything, so I'm very thankful for that. Number 4, what did you learn about yourself? I think this year I've learned a lot, not just about myself, but just like people in general and people around me. But let's just start with myself. I'm actually really proud of myself. I know it's kind of weird to say this like in front of camera and like in such a public. I just realized how strong I am. I think the beginning of the year was like freaking tough. A lot has happened, a lot of downs. I went through 2 surgeries. One was removing the screws from my foot, so I had like plates being inserted in my foot for like 3 years, I think. Was sort of bothering my mobility. I had that removed, and I also had my growth removed from my uterus, so I had 2 surgeries at once. I was also in the midst of going through like a breakup when I was recovering, and it was very sudden. I wasn't ready and I was not expecting it to happen, but it did. But that's okay. That's okay. Beginning of the year was shit. I was, of course, you know, like grieving takes time. It's a process, but I took care of myself so well. Like during the time as I was recovering physically, I was also really taking care of myself, like mentally, emotionally. I took that time like really focusing on myself, and I bounced back like quite quickly. I'd say 2 months in, 3 months in, I just really did all the things. What I needed to do was I ate well, I cooked a lot, I worked out, took care of myself, I signed up for like just courses online, I read a lot, just these things that helps to enrich like just me, like my life. So yeah, I think what I learned about myself is that I can be very strong, and I don't think there are any challenges that's being given in front of me that I will not overcome. And I know that this is only like a phase of my life, and probably in the future there will be more, but that's okay, right? How did you live by your core values? How did I live by my core values? What are my core values? Wait, can I just take one more piece? It's just like here staring at me. I'll try the milk cereal. It's so cute. It's like in the Paddle Pop color. It's like pink and blue. The texture is a little weird. In the middle it's like mushy. It's like eating oat. It's a bit like a soggy cereal kind of like texture, but the flavor and the taste is amazing. I also really like the Earl Grey, which I already killed it. And also like the apple pie is so good. Okay, where were we? Oh, what are my core values? I don't think it's easy to live by your core values like every time. And I mean, we're all human. We get distracted, we get tempted, we get this, we get that. But I think for me, it's always having that mindfulness thinking and pulling yourself back into practicing your core values. I think that's important. There are maybe two core values that I did very well. Was not very well, but I tried to live by. Being appreciative, showing appreciation. The other core value that I really lived by, I think this year, was honesty, but not so much towards people, but it was more to myself. So every time when I make a decision or I want to do something, you know, when there are people involved, I always tell myself, I ask myself, Bella, you have to be honest. Is this something you really want, or is this something you don't want? You know, like just really have a conversation with myself. That's so important, and especially being honest with myself too, because sometimes we try to just close one eye and just hope that it will be okay, or sometimes you just don't want to disappoint your friends or people, and then you end up disappointing yourself. So I think another core value that I live by is to be honest with myself. Yeah. What did you do for your physical and mental health? Physical, I think I did a lot. I'm considered a very active person, so yeah, I guess working out and all is considered as like physical health, but I always also get myself into like situations where I get hurt because I skate and stuff, so I always end up coming back with like bruises and yeah, things like that. Just having a consistent routine. It doesn't have to be like just a workout routine, it can be just staying active, so I think that helps. And I think that also kind of spills over to like mental health, because when you're active and when you're outdoors, it helps with, I think, your general well-being in and out. There's this thing that I have always wanted to touch, like to talk about it, and I know it can be a taboo, especially like in Asia. Maybe, I don't know how people are accepting this, but I think it's also getting a lot more open. Is that I have been going for therapy like consistently starting off this year as well. This actually also helps me to learn about myself a lot more, especially my emotions and my triggers. And the reasons why I wanted to do it is because I know there are room for improvement. I know there's a lot more room to grow as an individual, so I choose to go to therapy. I think what I need to also put it out there is going to therapy doesn't mean that you're sick, doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It's actually a healthy activity. I guess we take care of ourselves physically, we do all these things, we eat well, we sleep well, we take our supplements. It goes the same to like mental, right? You have to take care of yourself and your mental well-being. So I choose to go to therapy because I feel that that helped me and it grows me as a person. So yeah, I've been doing it for I think a good like 8 or 9 months, and I can see significant changes. So this is what I've been doing for my mental health. Talk to somebody. If you find that it's difficult to talk to your friends or your family, you can get someone that you feel comfortable and you're in a safe space that you can share. I would highly recommend people to explore. Take it as like a maintenance once in a while, just to let it out. Even sometimes it doesn't have to be like, oh, there's something to fix, but it's just more like a release. What are you thankful for this year? I have a list. I mean, I'm thankful for so many things, but I guess what I'm always thankful of, it's really my friends and my support group, family as well, for sure. I don't know how can I ever, I wouldn't say survive, but I guess going through all these challenges without having them by my side. They definitely play a huge part in my life. They're at the source of like my happiness as well, and just everything. So yeah, I'm thankful for you guys. If you're watching this, you know who you are, especially my girls. What energized you and what drained you this year? I guess this year has been a very weird year for everybody. It's not just myself, because things are changing so rapidly and it's so uncertain as well, and it can be very overwhelming. When during the lockdown, I think I had a lot more time to myself, so I think that was the time that I am very collected. I did a lot of things from home, I had a proper routine, and I really didn't mind staying home because I felt like the time I was just, everything was just going so well for me. Okay, this is very, it's individual. It's like, it's not for everybody. I know some people tells me that they go crazy when they stay home too long, but for me it was very consistent, like the routine and the things I can do and I want to do. So I guess that part gave me a lot of energy because I wasn't all over the place. I was just home and doing the things I like, getting work done, getting life together in a safe space. So yeah, I think what drained me was when things started opening up. I got a little bit of anxiety, like, okay, now I have to go back out to the real world and I have to meet people, socialize. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love socializing, I love people, I love having people around me. I'm more of a people person as well, yeah. So I like going to loud, vibrant places, have a couple drinks with friends, you know, that kind of thing. But I guess what drains me was also because things are opening up and everyone are rushing for like work deadlines and getting things done. I didn't have like time to really stop. I was all over the place. If you were to ask me what you're doing tomorrow, I can't even think because like there's so many things going on. So I was constantly on the go. I think that really overwhelmed me, and I think it was also very draining. But I feel a lot better now because I went on another trip in Charate. I just got back like a few days ago. I think surfing just fixed everything for me. Yeah. So I think these are like the questions, and I actually wrote down 10 not affirmations but a list that I want to bring forward to the next year. So 10 things as a little reminder. I'm not gonna do like New Year resolutions because I just know that they never happen, so no New Year resolutions. But here's a reminder for moving forward into year 2022 is how would I like to act and be as a person. First, so for me, it's always have empathy, because you never know what other people are going through, and everyone has their own story. Even though sometimes I'm very judgmental, like I can be like the most judgmental person ever. If you're like my good friend, you will understand and you will know. But I've been trying to, you know, sometimes just don't judge, like have empathy and just try to be in other people's shoes once and think about why would they act this way or why would they feel this way. I think this year has given me a lot of perspective in life. And second, be authentic. This is something I always try to remind myself. I guess we all have our insecurities, and sometimes you just feel like, oh, if only like I was this or that. I can be very goofy if I want to. And sometimes I'm just like, oh, I kind of wish that I'm just a cool girl, you know, and people that worships, you know, like just keep my calm. But I can't. I'm just like this. Then I tell myself, well, this is who I am and I just have to accept it, and people will like me for who I am. And this is why I guess my friends are still friends with me for such a long time, because of my goofiness. Always be authentic. And number 3, if it doesn't bother you after a year, let it go, because it's not worth it. And if it costs you your peace, let it go. We sometimes get so caught up and we just don't see like what's around us. So if you're being caught up in a certain situation, or I don't know, someone's bothering you, just ask yourself, like, is it worth it to be bothered, or is it worth it to get so caught up? If you feel that after a year it's not gonna bother you anymore, you can't care less, just really let go. It's actually better for you. So number 4, this is what I'm trying to do more often. I used to be less expressive. I'm not like super like, I can't be too expressive sometimes. Like even sometimes giving hugs, I get a bit awkward. But I'm trying to tell people that you love them and you appreciate them. Love still work in progress, but appreciation, yes, I'm okay with like telling people that I appreciate them, especially like my friends and people I care of. So love, yeah, we'll work on that. Number 5, learn to be happy for others. This is something I've learned this year and I want to bring forward to the future. Like, be genuinely happy for other people. I think this year we've done a lot of collaborations with other brands, and we've known so many people that we work with, and everyone is just really striving and working real hard. I guess it just makes me happy when I can help in a certain way, even like in the smallest ways, and even just be happy for them, because they can actually feel, right? Like you're happy for them, and that means also like you are being supportive. The same goes to when other people do that like for us. It just makes me feel very, I wouldn't say loved, but very cared for. So number 6, okay, this is something I value very much, which is mindfulness. We have to be mindfulness like in everything we do. Mindfulness, and have occasional self-reflection just to see how your like week going, or maybe like quarter of your year, how is it going. You as a person, check in with yourself, check in with people around you, especially like with people you care of, like maybe your other half, your partner, because this is how you communicate. So always reflect and check in. Sometimes I guess we just get very comfortable with our friends, family. We don't really ask them and we don't really check in, but I guess learning how to check in is not a bad thing, and maybe that's when you can really connect with each other and learn about each other in a deeper level. So yes. Number 7, it's okay to say no and put yourself first. Practice boundaries. They are very important, because if you are afraid of disappointing other people, you might end up disappointing yourself. So this is one thing to bring it forward. Oh, number 8, always check in with yourself and the people around you. So I've said it already. And number 9, the little things. So what are the little things? The little things are just, we don't need to go on like a big trip or have a super nice meal to just like be happy. It's always the little things, right? Say maybe a hot bowl, like a bowl of hot noodles during a rainy day. Having coffee while you drive, just having good music in the car during rush hour. I think that's like the best thing ever. Just like the little things. Focus on what you have around you instead of what you don't have. So something to bring it forward as well in 2022. And number 10, it's always a work in progress in life, in everything. In work, relationships, yourself, your health, your your pets, like just everything in life. It's always a work in progress. So these are like the 10 things I'd like to bring it forward. If you have any resolutions or any reviews that you'd like to share with me, I would really love to read them. So you can leave a comment down below and just tell me, how are you? Like, how's things going? How's your 2021? What do you want to bring forward in 2022? It's a good way to share, and we can learn from like just each and every one. So yeah, I'm gonna just finish up my chocolate and I'm gonna watch an episode of that continuation of Sex and the City. What's Just Like That? Yeah, it's out and I'm gonna go do that. So have a good year end. Happy New Year. I'll see you guys next year. Yeah, bye. So good. Okay, I need to start talking before this turns into like a food mukbang thing.